He turned on his live stream, got behind the wheel of his mother's car, and drove it straight into a store. No plan, no reason. When asked why, he simply said, "I just wanted to see what would happen." It sounds like a bad parody of internet culture, but this was 100% real. And the craziest part? That's nowhere near the wildest thing this guy has done. His name is R2 Polkson, also known online as Oppi, a Finnish IRL streamer who's quickly becoming one of the most chaotic internet personalities alive. And I don't mean chaotic like he rants on stream or gets into Twitter arguments. I mean burning furniture in his backyard kind of chaotic. Crashing cars, eating poisonous mushrooms, drinking cleaning solution on camera, on purpose. And despite being banned from nearly every platform you can think of, he keeps coming back, more unhinged than ever. But who exactly is this guy? And how did a random dude from Finland turn his entire life into one big internet disaster movie? Let's start from the top, because this rabbit hole goes way deeper than you think. It happened in the middle of a regular stream. Opie was live, rambling, slurring his words, obviously not in any condition to drive. But that didn't stop him. He picked up the keys to his mum's car, walked out the door, and got behind the wheel. The viewers, they thought it was another one of his unhinged bits, until he actually floored the gas. What followed was pure internet insanity. He drove straight into a closed store, glass everywhere, metal twisted, and the entire thing was caught on camera. No one could believe it. Was it real? Was it staged? But then the sirens came. The stream cut out, and the clip started making its way across Reddit, Twitter, and every corner of the internet that thrives on chaos. The most disturbing part, when asked about it later, he said there was no reason, no deeper message. He just wanted to see what would happen. And that's when people started realizing this guy wasn't doing stunts for attention. He was treating real life like a sandbox game, except there were no rules, and he had no fear of consequences. But that was just the moment the internet noticed him. The truth is, OPI had been spiraling for years, and this was only the explosion after a long, slow burn. Before the store crashes, police visits, and flamethrowers, OPI was just R2 Polkson, a quiet, slightly awkward guy from Kajani, Finland, studying to be an IT technician, drinking too much, spending most of his time online. Pretty unremarkable, until he opened a thread on a random Finnish image board in 2017. That's where it started. At first, it was just drunken diary entries, ramblings about his day, low-res videos of him talking to himself, sometimes gaming, sometimes just sitting there. But people noticed something strange about him. He wasn't trying to be funny, he wasn't performing, he was just off. And that off energy, it drew a crowd. His threads picked up steam, his face started popping up in other forums, and pretty soon, his classmates figured out what he was doing online. They didn't just find the videos, they spread them. The humiliation was instant. R2 dropped out of school, and instead of disappearing, he doubled down. If they already thought he was a freak, why not lean into it? That's when the shift happened. He stopped caring about school, about image, about consequences. He embraced the chaos and turned the internet into his stage. At the time, no one realized it, but that was the moment OPI was born. When OPI got banned from YouTube just 3 months into streaming, most people would have taken that as a sign to stop, or at least chill out. But not him. He treated the ban like a badge of honor. Within days, he created a new channel, posted the link in another image board thread, and went live again like nothing happened. That's when the OP ban cycle began. Stream, get banned, vanish, reappear somewhere else, repeat. It became a game, a scavenger hunt for chaos. His fans, if you can even call them that, followed him from platform to platform like digital cockroaches. Every time he got banned, someone would drop the new link. Reddit threads, Discord servers, Telegram channels. It didn't matter how many times he got wiped off the map, he always respawned. But with each return, he got worse. The stunts got more extreme, the behavior more erratic. He wasn't just pushing the line, he was sprinting past it at full speed. He called it content. Everyone else called it a car crash you couldn't look away from. And somehow, this cycle only made him more famous. He started popping up in other streamers' videos, usually uninvited. One of his favorites, Tiger, a former pro Dota 2 player. OPI would randomly show up on stream, often without pants, just to get the whole thing banned. The goal wasn't fame, it wasn't even money, it was chaos. And people couldn't stop watching. But even with the bans, the police visits, and the rising danger of his content, the next chapter of OPI's life would make everything before it look tame. After getting evicted from his apartment in Kajani. Yes, the same apartment where he once drank cleaning solution live because he ran out of beer, OPI moved to a small Finnish town called Falamo. And that's when things really fell apart. His new apartment didn't stay quiet for long. Within weeks, it became what viewers described as Finland's most cursed frat house. Random, unhinged streamers, failed influencers, and actual addicts, all crammed under one roof. No rules, no sleep, no limits. At any hour of the day, you could tune in and find someone vomiting, fighting, or setting something on fire. Sometimes all three. And the main attraction, still Oppie. Always Oppie. This wasn't a house, it was a content war zone. Emergency services practically became co-stars. First responders were called so often by neighbors, viewers, or even Oppie himself that it started to feel routine. The police didn't even knock anymore. They'd just walk in like it was their shift. Hey, what's up? What's burning today? Literal quote. Because yes, there was a fire. One night, in a flash of whatever passes for inspiration in his head, Oppie decided to burn furniture in his backyard. On stream, the fire spread to the fence, then to part of the building, then, shockingly, to the cops showing up yet again. And how did Oppie thank the firefighters for saving his building? He unzipped his pants and peed right in front of them while still live. It should have been the end. Jail time, rehab, something. But in Finland, he was briefly detained and then released. Like always, he didn't just burn furniture, he burned every bridge in Falamo. By 2023, even the unhinged roommates had had enough. The parties ended, the house emptied out, and Oppie, he ran back home to Kajani. But what waited for him there was just the next phase in a story that refuses to end. After torching his reputation and almost his apartment in Falamo, Oppie had nowhere left to go. So, like every villain in a low-budget sequel, he returned to where it all began, Kajani. And somehow, things got worse. In the first few months back, he managed to get banned from Kick again, then showed up pantsless on another streamer's camera multiple times, almost getting them banned too. He was gambling at casinos while high, bragging about what Walter White cooked for him, and flushing official eviction notices from prosecutors live on stream. One moment, he's trying to sneak into a Finnish AA meeting while clearly under the influence. The next, he's casually waving around a homemade flamethrower like it's just another Tuesday. But the crown jewel of his Kajani comeback, crashing his mother's car twice. The second time, it wasn't just a fender bender. He drove straight into an empty store while live streaming the whole thing. Same excuse as always. I wanted to see what would happen. And again, no clear punishment. Police arrived, sure, but beyond picking him up, Finnish media didn't report much. No jail time, no major charges. Just another chapter in the Oppie multiverse of madness. By now, platforms had caught on. He was banned from basically everything. Twitch, YouTube, Kick, even lesser-known alt sites. He couldn't make money, couldn't stay online. So he adapted. He became an internet panhandler. Live streaming just enough to avoid detection, constantly dropping new PayPal links, and relying on the same die-hard community of trolls, enablers, and fascinated lurkers to keep him going. Every time you think he can't sink lower, he brings a shovel. And yet, somehow, people keep watching. At this point, you have to ask yourself, is this even real life anymore? I mean, the guy drinks his own body waste, sets furniture on fire, crashes cars, and live streams the whole thing. Unapologetically, almost proudly. He even says it himself. His goal is to make people suffer just by existing. That's not a joke. That's a direct quote. And yet, the line between performance and reality completely gone. Is he an extreme troll, a performance artist lost in his own character, or just a deeply broken person who's turned his self-destruction into a live stream series? Honestly, it might be all three. Watching OPI feels like watching a reality show that was never supposed to exist. There's no production crew, no editing, no filters, just raw chaos, pain, and moments so absurd they feel scripted, but they're not. And that's what makes him so dangerous. dangerous. He's unpredictable, uncancelable, and completely out of control. Every time he gets banned, he comes back. Every time people say this has to be the last straw, he proves them wrong. And the scariest part? The system can't keep up with him. The platforms, the laws, even the viewers, they're all one step behind. But here's the thing. This isn't just about one guy anymore. It's about what happens when the internet stops being entertainment and starts rewarding complete collapse. Because let's be real, if RPI wasn't getting views, donations, and attention, none of this would still be happening. And yet here we are. So here we are. Years of chaos, dozens of bans, police reports, fires, car crashes, medical emergencies, emotional breakdowns, all live streamed, all public, all monetized. And somehow, RPI is still out there, still broadcasting, still gathering attention, still spiraling. The platforms can't stop him, the law hasn't stopped him, not even common sense or basic self-preservation have slowed him down. It's like watching someone try to speedrun rock bottom, but the game has no end screen, which raises one final terrifying question. How does this end? Does he finally get locked up? Does he vanish into obscurity? Or does something even darker happen? Live, in front of thousands of viewers who tuned in just to be entertained. Because that's the part no one wants to admit. We're not just watching OPI, we're enabling him. Every click, every share, every donation, every "bro, what the fuck is this?" in the comments. It fuels the cycle, and it blurs the line between content and catastrophe a little more each time. This isn't just about one man losing control. It's about how the internet lets him. So if you're still watching, ask yourself this. Is he the problem, or are we? Drop a comment below. Is OPI just an extreme troll, or are we witnessing something a lot darker play out in real time? Let me know what you think, because honestly, this is one of the most disturbing stories I've ever seen online.